Hello, this is Wheelhouse Talkrock. Welcome back to my Let's Play / appreciation / farewell to Dawn of War Soulstorm. Last we left off, I had just taken off one of the enemy's bases. Okay. So once you finish killing all the buildings that can produce units, then you're good for now, and they will disappear. These guys are my main anti-vehicle. I still have plenty of space left for some more vehicles if I wanted to. Let me go ahead and build a Shrine of the Living Saint. I don't think it'll be built by the time I need it. Let me build some Sister Repentia squads for some melee, and let them do their thing. I have 2 of these squads, which is good. 2 of the battle sisters.
I am a servant to the Emperor.
Go ahead and tell them to come right here. It's still here. I guess these guys are still here. Well, now I have tons and tons and tons of resources, and I'm ready to go ahead and make a final push.
Repentia squad, no strike. Too rigorous. We are wholly outcasts.
I am consecrated.
No
Well, as usual, they're here waiting for us. We should be able to attack fairly quickly.
Emperor, strengthen my
I can tell them to come right here and assault down the center. That way I can have my emulator tanks ready to do some good anti-building, anti-infantry stuff. Anti-building and anti-armor. Anti-vehicle, I guess would be a better way to say it. But let me go ahead and get this upgrade. I probably won't use that particular power, but there it is. Once this actually increases the morale of our squads and increases global production rates. Anyway, okay, we're good.
I submit.
I'm going to start on that even though I'm never going to have it by the time they need it. Alright, let's go ahead and invade. I'm feeling pretty confident we should be alright. Let me zap this guy. Back up. Send some avenging angels just to divert fire. That died pretty quickly. Alright. Wow. These guys have a terrible spawn rate. I mean, they last maybe a few seconds. And then they die, which means if they're not on when you need them to be on, it just really becomes incredibly annoying. Alright, let's go ahead and take down the center here. While all tanks do nothing. Send those guys down. These guys, like I said, they can demoralize you very quickly. Let's go ahead and take out things that produce units first. That way we don't have to worry about much. These guys make great armor piercing, so they're great against armor and vehicles and buildings. There's my stuff. Alright. Tell 2 to go ahead and focus on these guys. Don't make short work of them since there's so many. The thing about Talons is they will engage your infantry and melee, which means they can't use range weapons, so it's best to engage them with other melee. Okay. This is another one I feel like we've done it about the best you can do it. That was it. Whew. Okay. Let's go ahead and save this. All that did was give us a honor unit. I'm going to go ahead and end the turn.
Charge the enemy.
And we're going to start the Dark Eldar mission assault.
We must withdraw.
It's funny watching the orcs here. The orcs, I've never seen them launch an attack on any enemy stronghold. Alright. I will be quiet, hopefully, as this thing. Actually, let me go ahead and, do I have enough? I want lots of buildings. And I don't have that. So let's go ahead and wait. I'm all for, wasting time if it means waiting a little bit, if it means I can consult with the better forces. The good thing about having the Tau mission superpower is that once you eliminate the enemy, you can attack it, and that causes it to fire a shot and reduce this number, and then back out of the mission and do that all the way to there's only one base, and then just swamp them. All right, I think we're good to go ahead and attack here. I don't care for the assassins. Okay. Let's watch. Oh, let me go ahead and... that'll be alright. Wish I had more, but that's okay. We don't need more.
The Dark Eldar little feared an attack on their base of operations, situated as it was on the dark side of the moon, well within the reaches of the warp storm of Kaurava IV. The seventh ancient gate lay on that moon, but the Dark Eldar, knowing its technology well, had fixed it to work only for them when they had arrived there. The effect of this hubris and the general anarchic nature of Archon Tarrel's soldiers resulted in a sprawling makeshift reproduction of Komorrah, the Dark Eldar home city. Surrounding the major war camp lay smaller camps, surrounded by miles of torture ground, a sort of cage garden of the homunculus Kumanael's making. Rich with plunder, enslaved scraps and goods, this area had grown and sprawled. Meanwhile, the center grew dense with powerful Dark Eldar, and the legendary Asdrubal Vecht, leader of Taril's Blackheart Cabal, was said to oversee the war preparations there. To say the Dark Eldar were unprepared for an attack would not be quite accurate. The Dark Eldar are ever ready for battle. It is a sport and a passion to their kind, and there is no such thing as catching them off their guard. Nonetheless, the miles of torture gardens were poorly attended at best, and full of prisoners, many still capable of turning against their captors. For an attacker, there was a faint glimmer of hope.
If you saw in that last image, one of the upgrades for your commander unit of the Dark Eldar is a face mask made of human skin stretched out, and it just looks dumb. The other thing about the Dark Eldar is their commander unit, you see him on the left. None of his upgrades allow him the ability to detect infiltrated units. Makes it another bad part.
We are fresh from the fight. We have shed blood. Death, terror, and anguish sang sweetly in our ears.
But Lord Tarrel, have you taken prizes?
Do you doubt me, Grumenea? Many prisoners were taken. We have our tribute to Komorrah, and many left over for our slave chambers, and your torture grounds.
Come, Archon! Come to my torture grounds. We win, we lose, win and lose. But always richer with slaves and spoils.
Indeed, we shall be well respected and rewarded when we return to Komorrah.
When we return, if we return. Return the victors, or return the vanquished. My bride, with screams of flight.
Those little boys and girls in the upper left-hand corner, if you saw it. And you can see it above right now, too. One of the few times you see infants, or non-adults in this game.
Still to reach.
And you're seeing right now the death animation for the homunculi.
Will they take away my garden?
Are you questioning my rights to lead? My inevitable victory? I am the deadly shadow and the bird of prey. I am the poisoned dagger that brings swift death. crude and foolish armies know nothing of strategy. If they see a wall, they attack it. If they see an army, they charge at it. They will be too busy with each other to notice us. Or if they do, it will be too late. Worry not. And it is of no matter, we keep a keen watch. If an army approached, surely we would see it coming. Then, we would tear it to pieces.
Alright, so this is the Dark Eldar headquarters mission assault, and
Sisters, hearken to my words.
All but
This
the
prisoner
faithful
camp
perish.
holds many of our comrades.
We
We shall
command
march forward
Dresendar!
and liberate them wherever we find them bound.
Sisters,
See?
fight by my
One
side.
cage lies nearly within reach.
the Emperor.
It is a sign.
Come, my sisters.
alright, we're going to go ahead and attack these people. You kind of want your,
Dread and awe.
Sworn ever to your service
I'll talk as this goes along. So the Dark Eldar are basically the descendants of the original Eldar that worshipped pain and became death cults and whatnot. You want to make sure this tank stays on the flamer side so it can kill the enemy's morale, which basically makes them useless. As you take more slave cages, you get more units.
Come, sisters! You are freed!
The thing about the Dark Eldar also, I would state,
Sworn ever to your service.
I don't like doing this because I feel like it's going to... Actually, let me detach this
Heresy and mutation.
and have him attached to them and have the canoness attached to them.
Heresy and
Trouble with
mutation.
putting the missionary that's honor guard with groups that are not honor guard is that that missionary will probably get killed. They can target it independently. Anyway, so the Dark Eldar, when they build their bases, they're a lot like the Protoss in the sense that they can lay it down and that drone can go do something
Not
else.
eluded detection, sisters. Very well. We shall fight.
Again, you want to just make sure you take out as much morale as possible. When one group has morale broken, you target the other group. Okay, there we go. It's actually a lot of what we want. They're not going to do a whole lot of damage now that they're demoralized.
We cannot afford mercy.
Some of these slave cages are going to be empty and not filled with anything, probably because we already have an honor guard and we don't need
They have
anything
committed
else.
ultimate heresy. Come, my sisters. We go.
I'll explain a little bit more and then I'll set up and then I'll just have to end this mission simply because
They have committed the
time
ultimate
constraints. And because there's the actual assault on the Dark Eldar just takes a lot of talking
We
about.
march to the hymns of the ecclesiarchy.
I don't like this microphone as much as like the other one. It's a little bit scratchier. We want to go ahead and demoralize that because they're shooting at my tank and my tank is taking incredible amounts of damage. Your typical Dark Eldar unit, I mean, it's fun to play them. They're quick on their feet, and they have a very fearsome image. I like that. They're a purpley. Hey, purple. I want to save this crack grenade till I have actual, like... now I'll go to do it. It's taking too much time.
With my commendation. Strike them down.
They've used a power on us, and I think this is the one that limits a little bit of morale, but it's not much. When you play as a Dark Eldar, you have certain powers that are on the kind of the middle section, and you get them by harvesting souls. The only issue with them, I would say, is that they're pretty much useless except for maybe 2 of them. The rest of them are useless.
We command dread and
Assign him
awe.
to group 2.
We command dread and awe. They have committed the ultimate heresy.
If I don't have all my units when I assault this, isn't going to be the end of the world.
Strike the enemy!
Behold, the immolator. Alright,
Thou
I think let's go. Let me go ahead and do a phosphor grenade on these guys. How to demoralize them. I'm going to go ahead and convert this guy to anti vehicle. Once I make that change, I can't really go back. But that's the way I feel like I need to pursue this.
Strike them down!
It is a judgment.
Is it a judgment? I mean, you say it's a judgment, but I don't know if it's a judgment. It is a judgment, you say so decisively. Alright, let's go ahead and use this for good anti-vehicle purposes. I don't know why they're striking at nothing. Go up here, guys, and attack this. You attack this. We can also go ahead and assault this, I suppose. That way we'll have some additional units to deal with. Ugh. Okay, this guy's gonna die. These guys are, the Scourges are great at anti-vehicle, so once that happens, once they start shooting vehicles, it's kind of lost. You're kind of SOL. Luckily, the Celestine squad has some good anti-vehicle, as do the Seraphim, but yeah, the Seraphim like to die a lot.
Smite the enemy!
Trying to keep an eye on time to make sure
We go!
my time is good. I don't change my angle very much, just because I don't have to. But like I said, this game has some of the best models I've ever seen.
What escaped from its cage?
Fudge.
They have committed the ultimate heresy.
Canoness, there are 2 camps of the enemy near to here. They are well defended, and with our current strength, I do not think that we could take them.
We command dread and awe!
I must turn and face the foe.
Every
Strike them down!
every unit you have has a certain statement when they lose morale. Sometimes it's like, "We are lost," or "The Emperor has forsaken us," or something to that effect. Get in there, guys. I guess this is also in case you just lose a bunch of units.
Thou shalt
Maybe those
not.
repopulate.
I shall.
We're going to go ahead and go to
It
the...
is a judgment.
Well, it doesn't really matter which way we go.
Come, my sisters! Come, my sisters!
We're going to settle at this base, kind of if you look in the lower left-hand corner, kind of in the middle of the actual overmap,
Come, my sisters!
and we'll go from there. This is going to be a difficult fight. You guys come down this way.
Heresy and mutation! We command dread and awe!
I am lost. That's one of their morale-breaking statements. And when they return to morale, they say something like, "I have found my faith again." If it's chaos, they say, "It was a temporary badness." These guys are very, very difficult. And I think my phosphor grenade did nothing. Okay.
We command dread and awe! We have excelled at battle!
Let's go ahead and break this open and see what's inside. Like I said, they usually target the
Our
weakest
numbers are
units.
increased. We grow ready for our ultimate goal.
It's good to go ahead and use these Sister Repentia squads because they will tie the enemy up once they engage in melee, so they won't have their ranged weapons to rely upon.
We command dread and awe!
Okay,
We go!
we have to sort of navigate around. See what's on this side. That's more slave pens. I don't think they have anything in them. That has something in it. May go there in a second. That has stuff in it too.
They have committed the ultimate heresy.
Okay, so let me briefly state the way this mission is going to work, and I'll remind you of it when we begin the next mission.
Come, my sisters!
But basically, do you remember the relic unit we saw last
We
mission?
march to the hymns of the ecclesiarchy!
No, over here. No, over here. Once again, when you have too many units,
Hymns of the ecclesiarchy!
They have stupid path following and they don't do what they need to do. Okay, this is not going to be an easy mission. Let me go ahead and disrupt them around. That there. That there. Anybody else? So, these witches, W-Y-C-H-E-S, witches, a lot of the Dark Elder have a BDSM sort of, sadomasochistic. They have like choke collars and stuff like that. It's kind of silly. I don't really have respect for them as a faction because basically all they're doing is they're doomed to die, and their soul is slowly fading, and the only way to keep it from going bad is to inflict torturing on other people. So they're not even like the Chaos. Chaos say, I don't like the Emperor's fake, I'm going to rebel because I think the Emperor's fake. But they don't necessarily serve the Chaos God. Some of them love Chaos, some of them are just independent. With Dark Eldar, they're basically like, I'm going to do everything Chaos does. They basically serve Chaos, because if they don't, they die. And is that serving? I think it is. I would call that serving. Okay. We're going to have to send a fair amount of this army forward so they're actually doing some damage. As usual, it's nice to throw phosphor grenades just so we have the opportunity to demoralize people. I think these are just going to be builder units like drones. Yeah.
Praise the Emperor! Servitors! We must erect a forward camp with speed!
I kind of want to go ahead and get these unit producing camps first because they are producing units. That shouldn't be much of a surprise. How's my time doing? I'm close to ending low on time. These guys are pretty pathetic. But the Seraphim are good for like special hit and run attacks. But other than that, they're pretty pathetic. I'm not a super huge fan of them. I'm gonna go ahead and send these guys down to,
We command dread and awe!
there was at least one
We go!
there, just to get free whatever unit that is.
We are servants of the God
And then,
Emperor.
while we're waiting, we can go ahead and we have a little bit of spare time till we have to bear tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of enemy attacks. So let's get every unit we can. Anyway, I was going to start to talk about the gimmick of this mission. The relic unit that we saw the last mission, he comes and assaults us every few seconds. And our job is going to be to destroy it. And as we try to destroy it, they will quickly, he will flee. So there's actually kind of a bug. I wouldn't maybe call it a bug. There's an easier way to beat this mission, and it's this. If you can actually defeat that relic unit really, really quickly, we're going to be alright. The Dark Elder have lots of morale-killing units. The trouble is, and this is sort of the trouble, they're not actually all that great at reducing morale. So even though I enjoy the heck out of playing the Dark Eldar, there's definitely some disadvantages. Okay, who is it? It's just a missionary. That's nice. Let's attach him to this army. That's dumb. I didn't want a missionary. Something called fervor, and that means they fight harder, but also means they take consistent damage. And I don't like using that. I don't think I've ever really used it much. Okay, we've got this, we've got that one, and we've got that one. Alright, let's go ahead and liberate this last builder unit. And then after that, I will have to stop the mission, just due to time constraints. And we'll go on from there.
Be it your will.
And start that there.
To specification.
Call you Control 9.
To the hymns of the ecclesiarchy!
Be it your will.
Control 0.
To specification. I
Control
submit.
6.
To specification.
Did I glitch this out? I seem to be glitching this out because my main base should have appeared already. Do I actually have to build an actual... Anyway, I'm building my listening post, but maybe I should have built my main forward base.
I am a servant to the Emperor.
Now I'm running a little bit low on time. Alright, let me go ahead and start build the chapel and put it right here.
Your will be done.
How many builder units do I have? Is this building itself? No, it's not. This is another thing I don't like about Sisterhood, is that this looks like it's building itself, doesn't it? But since there is no ecclesiastical servitor, he wasn't actually constructing it. So, looks like it was under construction, but it actually was not. That is upgrading. This is upgrading.
I humbly await orders. If you will it. I serve.
Alright.
I serve.
Should be pretty good. Running a little bit low on time, but I want to go ahead and build and establish the base before I start talking about any other stuff.
Thou shalt not.
We know our place.
These guys can cooperatively build, but it's not like you can do it with the chaos, which is you can have one work so hard that he starts losing energy. As it is, I feel like I'm going to have enough energy enough resources to go ahead and start doing stuff. You will constantly be attacked from the left, from the right, and also enemy units will fly down and land on top of you. That's not because they're producing here or there. You will always just get that anyway. As soon as we get the main base built, we will lose line of sight with these areas. But no, sometimes enemy units just come out of nowhere. There's nothing you can really do about it. But yeah, you do want to make sure you build defenses on this side. On this side, I'm going to do something a little bit different. You'll see that in a second once we resume the mission. Done. Okay, and here comes all of our other units.
Enemies have infiltrated by way of the torture gardens. How was this allowed to happen? I don't know, Archon. They killed the guards. They amassed a force and will soon have a war camp established. I see.
I submit.
I will inform Lord Vect. Have the soul cages readied. They shall taste the full fury of our powers. Lord Vect is here? On Lacune? Yes, now go! The soul cages!
You heard him say it, Lacune. Anyway, okay. I'm going to save the game and stop it here. And then when we pick back up, we'll go ahead and start our main mission. Let me go ahead and state that we're going to try to trap the enemy relic unit. We have all these side missions. I don't never do them. I just wait till the main bad guy shows up and kill him. But the Deus of Destruction is right there, and when it comes and assaults us, there are ways to trap it and kill it. So I'm going to stop right there, and so thanks for joining me. This has been Wheelhouse Darkrock, and this has been my Let's Play / appreciation / farewell to Dawn of War Soulstorm. Thanks for joining me. Have a nice night.